Again, that's a Shahed drone. Like, that's crazy. Mindset. I know he's smart enough to understand this, but he just won't. Is he cattle? Does he sometimes go, like when you bring him treats? Carriers in the region. I'm going to get into all of that right now. But let's get started. U.S. and Israel launch an attack on Iran.
Rocked multiple cities across Iran, including its capital, Tehran. Videos from Tehran show smoke. You see it here billowing over the city. And now we're getting reports of explosions in Gulf Arab countries hosting U.S. military bases. Live look now at Abu Dhabi, where explosions were reported, in addition to Bahrain and Qatar. A video now of an explosion in Bahrain. Officials say a missile hit the service center of the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet in the country. These strikes happened barely a day after the latest round of indirect nuclear talks between Iran and the U.S. And sources tell CNN the U.S. military is planning for these attacks to last for days. Israel said the same, and both President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu are now calling for regime change.
To the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations.
Yeah, Iran media reported just hours ago that Iran...
Bro, our heart's not in it. Our heart's not in it. You know what I mean? It's like in order to do this kind of like regime change, you have to come in with boots on the ground. And maybe they will try and do that, but I do think that that will inevitably lead to the end of America. Okay? It will certainly lead to the end of Iran as we know it, but I think it will also lead to the end of America. What's remarkable about that is the admission that American sons and daughters will die, right? Because, I mean, we're slaves. We're all slaves. We're wage slaves of a different sort. We're all slaves to empire at the end of the day. Especially some of the poorest who thought that they could get a fucking comms degree, you know what I mean, for free. An amenity pretty much offered by every other competent social democracy, the opportunity for upward social mobility that's given to every single citizen unconditionally. In the United States of America, you have to become a slave to the Pentagon. And you have to go and, sell your soul to the American government so you can go and you can slaughter other people's sons and daughters overseas. You got to go kill some children, and then you get fucked up in the head. Hopefully you don't get your dick shot off while protecting a poppy field, right, for JSOC so they can actually keep doing clandestine operations and drug trafficking, stuff like that, right? So you come back to the United States of America with crippling PTSD, and then you get a fucking comms degree so you can have your job, if you're lucky enough to get one, by the way, then you can have your job be stolen by artificial intelligence. So some fucking faceless, lifeless, dickhead billionaire can turn can turn on the GDP machine and make a little bit more money year over year. And it's fucking awesome. And then you sit around angry and you think to yourself, well, I have an unlimited arsenal of weapons. Will I actually organize? Will I actually topple the system? No, I'm just going to either kill myself and my family, or I'm just going to take the arsenal of weapons that I have and shoot up the nearest fucking kindergarten. That's just the average American existence. And then we sit around and think, oh, well, as long as this domineering force that is like broadly defined as American empire is killing other school children overseas, I feel a little powerful, right? People sit there, eat their potato chips at home in their crusty boxers and watch their favorite fucking incel, decrepit Twitch streamers and think, no, this force projection is good. It makes me feel fucking good. Well, your life sucks. Your life sucks. You have no freedom. You're fucking cattle. You are literally a goddamn slave. Some of you are slaves without actually even working, but that's just the reality, right? I myself am a part of this process as well. I play a role in this fucking sham. I play a role in this song and dance as well. I try to yell. I try to wake people up to these realities. But for the most part, you know, it's very difficult. It's very difficult for people to even envision any sort of change because we have been reduced to being servile cattle for many, many years at this point. Many generations ago. I'll just hit this early.
May Allah awaken the people and help them to see the evil doings of Israel and the United States.
Oh, inshallah, one day. In any case, here, you want to see who you're doing this for. Remember why this is happening. When gas prices shoot up because the Strait of Hormuz is now officially mined and dammed and closed, and that's like 10% of fucking all global oil commerce that won't happen any longer. And all of a sudden you're at the fucking pump and you're like, why is gas $15 a gallon? How did this happen? Remember who you're fighting for. When you think to yourself, why don't I have health care? Like countries that have significantly less money than the United States of America can offer free health care. Well, they have free health care in Israel. For the record, they have free health care in Israel. Just so you know, they don't have to worry about defense, for example. You want to know why they don't have to fucking worry about defense? Because we got that shit covered, baby. USS Gerald Ford, the poop chute, is encircling the Israeli coastline so we can have maximum defense for Israel as we fight Israel's war in Iran. Just, remember that. Anyway, I think this is an older video from the last time Israel fucking tried to blow up Iran, and then Iran decided to retaliate. Working Class Magic, did you see Israel responded to you? Oh, great. There's no such thing as a preemptive strike, I said. Israel is striking Iran in spite of the negotiations that the Oman mediators tried to publicize in the U.S. media to avoid this exact outcome. Little did they know Israel gets what it desires, even if it collapses the West. That's awesome. I'll be sending that GIF back when people are talking about how scared they are in the bomb shelters.
Already launched dozens of ballistic missiles at Israel. And Qatari officials say that Qatar already intercepted 2 Iranian missiles, indicating Iran is carrying out that plan to retaliate. And our team is up and covering this breaking story from around the world. We'll get to Zach Cohen and Elena Treen in just a moment. But I want to start with CNN's Jeremy Diamond first. He's in Tel Aviv. Jeremy, have any of the Iron Dome intercepted any of those missiles? Is there a timing on when those might arrive?
Well, we certainly know that Iran has already fired a barrage of ballistic missiles at Israel. We had sirens going off not only here in Tel Aviv, but also in Jerusalem, in northern Israel, in southern Israel, pretty much Israelis everywhere across the country, millions heading to bomb shelters as those ballistic missiles came in. It does appear that there were several intercepts. We have not yet gotten reports of any actual impacts as a result.
Okay. So the short and sweet of it is, last night at around 10:30 p.m. Pacific time, as I was laying in bed trying to close my eyes to wake up and work out early in the morning and go live with the hopes that, Iran had still not been struck, I found out that Iran had, as a matter of fact, been struck by Israel and the United States of America. Okay? They tried to do an early decapitation strike, hit numerous cities from Isfahan to Tehran and many others. They blew up schools because obviously Israel can't fucking not blow up schools. Like, I need you to understand, if Israel doesn't fucking blow up a school every week, they will literally implode. Do you want Israel to implode? Do you want Israel to kill themselves? Do you want the Israeli government to engage in collective suicide? How anti-Semitic of you. Okay? How anti-Semitic of you to think these thoughts. Of course Israel has to fucking kill school children overseas. Israel has to kill school children on a weekly fucking basis. Do you understand? They have to do it. They have to do it. This is the only way to liberate the masses, okay? The Israeli economy runs on exploded school children, and some school children have to fucking die. 40 elementary schoolgirls killed, 9 to 13 years old. Thank you, Israel. Thank you, America. In any case, they did all of that, and then Iran retaliated. And this retaliation is different from the 12-day war. You will never get the full scope of exactly what's going on if you go on fucking Twitter, unless you know exactly what to look for, because the entire information apparatus on social media is polluted with bots, polluted with human beings that operate like fucking bots. Okay? It's insane. Misinformation of epic magnitudes. And no, the Gulf states are not actually receiving the brunt of this impact. The Gulf states that have American radar systems inside of American fucking bases inside of the Gulf states are receiving the brunt of the impact, with the exception of Dubai. Dubai has actually received a little bit more, and maybe some of the Gulf states will receive even more of the bombing. But so far, the reason why I say it's a little bit different than the 12-day war is because Iran immediately retaliated by striking American radar systems in Bahrain, in the UAE, in Qatar. And they've actually effectively taken out multiple billions of dollars worth of radar systems and early advance warning systems that the American government has designed all around the region. Now, of course, America knew this was going to happen, just so you know, because that is going to yield tremendous prosperity for the military-industrial complex. You blow up $2 billion worth of radar systems, but guess what? That means we got to rebuild. That means new contracts. That means new fucking contractors. That means new workers that will fly out into the Gulf and hastily rebuild these military bases. So that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. America knew that was going to happen. That's why they brought in their entire AWACS fleet, the aerial surveillance systems that we have at our disposal, created by Lockheed Martin, created by Boeing as well. These surveillance systems are flying around. All around, basically in like a perfect single file line from Iran all the way to Israel to protect, of course, the Holy Land, the most important country on the planet. Not your state, not Wyoming. The only state in the United States of America that matters, the state of Israel. So, just remember that. Every single Gulf country is being hammered currently that have American bases. They're being hammered fucking currently and presently. They are destroying billions of dollars of American equipment inside of American bases. I've seen videos in Bahrain of even Shahed drones blowing up the American base. Shahed drones can be shot down with an AK-47. That's how little America gives a shit about its goddamn assets in the region. If you wanted to, if you're wondering what the situation looks like, Shahed drones are so fucking slow, you can shoot them down with an AK-47. And they're currently striking American bases in Bahrain. The naval base in Bahrain is being struck. Okay? Iranian drone hits the vicinity of Burj Khalifa in Dubai. The IRGC has officially announced the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. The economy about to buckle. Inshallah, the economy will buckle. These people that lead these countries are fucking animals. Do you understand? They're animals. They do not care about you. We are going to suffer as a consequence of their actions, but they only fucking respond. They only respond to force. They only respond to military deterrence. They only respond to pressure. And it's literally, we have to be the pressure. We have to be the pressure. We have to take it to the streets. We have to fucking protest. We have to put an end to this kind of action. We have to demand an end, sever ties with Israel. We have to demand an end to American imperialism. It's done. Okay? It's done. There is no other way out of this. Note the book on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's desk during this call today with President Trump is historian Tim Bouvier's book, Allies at War, about how the Allies defeated Hitler in World War II. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu during his conversation with U.S. President real Donald Trump. I bet his bitch ass is fucking having that conversation in some Greek military facility too. Drone strike in Dubai. Yeah, Israel is fucking, not Israel, sorry. Iran is pummeling Dubai. If you noticed, out of all the Gulf countries, like Dubai is getting hit the hardest. This to me shows that there's a reason, right? Like they are very deliberate about who they are attacking and why they're attacking the countries that they are attacking. Dubai is obviously, the UAE is obviously Muslim Israel. For those of you who don't fucking know, I know many of you think, oh no, that's like a pedophile cryptocurrency safe haven. That's basically Miami. The UAE's foreign policy and like regional leadership is basically to be the Muslim version of Israel. Okay. They're right there. Whenever Israel's doing stuff, Dubai and the UAE is right there. Okay. And for the record, Iran did warn every other country in the region. And Iran did say, if you do this, it will be a regional war. If you do this, if you back us into a corner, we will fight back. And of course, you know, that is the case. Again, that's a Shahed drone. Like, that's crazy. Oh my God. Bro, you really actually don't need like I was thinking about this with like the Afghanistan, the Taliban, Pakistan fight that was taking place. And I was really thinking about this. You really don't need suicide bombing anymore. You know, because like the Taliban guy was like, oh, you have nuclear arms, but we have like suicide bombers. Like, we'll just blow up your country with suicide bombers. And it's like, you really don't need that anymore in drone warfare, right? You don't need that at all. Just make fucking drones. You can purchase them from, you can purchase them in the online marketplace. Like, China literally sells like explosive ordnance delivery mechanisms that you can put to a DJI drone that you can purchase like at virtually no significant cost in comparison to like, sophisticated equipment that you need to put together. So I guess like you kind of, at that point, you're doing that for the love of the game, right? Like, you're doing suicide bombing just for the love of the game. Because like, you want to keep it old school. Is that what it is? Why is bro saying that? I'm just saying it's like insane that, I mean, this is functionally what you could get away with if you facilitated like a somewhat difficult to pull off suicide bombing strike, right? And instead you're just using a Shahed drone that's like what, $10,000? It's crazy. It's crazy how terrifying this process is. Anyway. But isn't suicide bombers cheaper than drones? Yeah, but it's there's no guarantee. A suicide bombing campaign is an incredibly difficult thing to pull off, dude. First of all, you need people that are diehard zealots, quite literally. The IEDs are like not very expensive. They're not very sophisticated. But at the end of the day, like pulling off a successful suicide bombing operation is really fucking difficult. You need to have a human asset on the ground. Drones, on the other hand, yeah, sure, it's like 10 grand. Like a Shahed drone specifically is like $10,000 or whatever. But, you know, you don't have like there. It's not. It's has a much higher success rate and more ordnances, more explosive ordnances on the drone itself. That's crazy. They're just doing like they're doing piecemeal Shahed strikes on residential buildings, dude. This is the Al Udeid radar system before and after the strike. Yeah, what was and what became. This is like $1.5 billion, I think. Satellite images show the destruction of an American radar at the Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar as a result of targeted operations by Iran. First, they crippled the American early warning systems like this. And America let it happen, by the way. Just so you understand, if you are living in one of these, if you're living in one of these Gulf countries, that's in Bahrain. This is fake. Look at the buildings in the bottom. No, they did strike at the Al Udeid base, though. I don't know if this is like, what do you call it? I don't know if this image is fake or not. But they did actually strike the Iranians did strike the Al Udeid Air Base radar. They did actually do that. The photo itself might be fake. I'm saying the photo itself that you guys sent me might be fake, but they did strike the radar base in Qatar. Like there is literally a fucking video of it. You know, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This is the one in Bahrain. The first round, the first round of strikes came towards the Gulf states, and immediately they went in and struck all of the American bases that have early warning systems, radars in all of the Gulf states. And then after they were done with that, they have not stopped pummeling Israel as well. All this is a distract from the Epstein files? No joke? No, brother. No. This is not a distraction from the Epstein files. This is a 50-year project for Israel. This is so much more consequential than the fucking Epstein files. Like, this is not even that's crazy. This is a 50-year project by Israel. This is a project that also corresponds to American interests in the region in general. They've always wanted no sovereignty for Iran. They always wanted the Iranian oil as well. America has always wanted to have complete monopoly over the cartel, OPEC plus. Obviously, you have state actors that are not always going to be compliant, but as long as you have some servile Gulf nation states like Saudi Arabia, like UAE, and then you also destroy Iran or remove Iranian sovereignty or or completely take over the Iranian oil refinery process, then you have a significant upper hand in this cartel. You can control the petrodollar to the best of your ability. You can use it as a significant point of leverage against your foreign adversaries like China. This is 50 years in the making. This isn't a new thing at all. And it's finally happening because Israel has lost all of its Western support. So this is perhaps the last time that they can do it. Okay? This is the last time that Israel will be able to do this. From their perspective, Trump is crazy enough to follow through on it. This is a final act of desperation, in my opinion. This is the grand design in the region coming to a close. So however much America, like if Iran is capable of putting up a strong front and a strong resistance against this, make it as difficult and as costly as possible for America to engage in this war of attrition while destabilizing the entire global economy, which they have the capability to do, America will most likely collapse. I just don't see any clean way out of this. As I talked about with Ben Rhodes earlier this week, ironically enough, Ben Rhodes, National Security Advisor to Barack Obama, who played a significant role in the JCPOA, the Iran denuclearization deal. One of the conversations that we had was obviously around America and Israel's interest in Iran. We talked about how it was never about denuclearization, and Obama basically proved that because Obama was able to get a successful multilateral deal through with Iran. Iran was willing to negotiate with the United States of America in exchange for sanctions relief. And then Donald Trump came in and ripped that apart in his first term, if you guys remember. And it basically showed anyone with more than 3 working brain cells, and I hope you guys have more than 3 working brain cells, that there was no real negotiation aspect. And it was more so just a way to create a reason to destabilize Iran inevitably. And the reasons for why America and Israel want to destabilize Iran is not because the Iranian people deserve sovereignty and dignity. Although that is true, that's not the reason why America and Israel want to destabilize Iran. So if you're a fucking moron who actually believes that, get the fuck out of my chat. Okay? You are the biggest dupe, the biggest sucker. I bet you also think that going to war with Iraq and extracting oil for American oil refineries was probably good for you somehow, personally. You are the biggest loser. You're the biggest dumbass of all time. America does not give a fuck about democracy. America doesn't even give a fuck about democracy in America. America doesn't even care about American citizens. America certainly doesn't even care about American military members. We literally parked 50% of our naval assets in and around Israel and in and around Iran. If you think that we care about what happens to them, you are fucking delusional. Okay? Yeah. You're the guy who goes to the strip club and says, no, you don't understand. You see, Hasan, the stripper does love me, actually. She told me. She loves me. I believe her. You are all, at best, human shields, okay? Your worth to the American government, to the Israeli government, is either a human shield, collateral damage, maybe productive forces if you are productive to a certain degree, you know? What is this? Saved as modded GIF? Do we have a blast off meme, by the way? I didn't even blast off yet. It's 48 minutes in and I just started fucking going in. I was not expecting Iran to fire into like 5 countries right away. I was. I was. Can you explicitly lay out how this benefits U.S. and Israel? I mean, it depends. Are you talking about the working class? Are you talking about the capital owning class? Are you talking about those who are in positions of power? Because, like, if you're talking about the Epstein class, this benefits them tremendously because you're always moving units, right? Any American base that gets blown up as a consequence of Iran retaliating means, you know, more economic activity. It means more jobs. It means more subsidies from the government. It means more taxpayer-funded initiatives to rebuild those bases. So that's extremely beneficial for some key sectors in the United States of America. So that yields economic activity. Every bomb that is used yields economic activity because every bomb that is used must be replenished. That's why, you know, in this day and age, war is not meant to be won. War is meant to simply continue. And it has been continuing. And there is a fairly sophisticated media apparatus that has made you think that war is not happening all the time when it, as a matter of fact, very clearly is happening all the fucking time, right? Whether it be Iran today, or Afghanistan and Iraq yesterday, Libya, Syria, there is constant destabilization taking place. That's happening all the time. Yeah. Also, this is what war looks like for Americans in Bahrain. Bahrain is basically the cushiest job in the Gulf too. Look.
Bro. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh.
Like, look at this motherfucker's house, bro. Why is he not scooping up poop inside of the USS Gerald Ford? Why is he fucking sitting? Jamal Bowie's retweeting that you're anti-Semitic and insane on Blue Sky. Jamal Bowie's calling you anti-Semitic and insane on Blue Sky. Oh, fucking discourse machine, dude. Yes. Oh no! Oh no! A New York Times reporter has called me anti-Semitic. A New York Times reporter is calling me anti-Semitic. A New York Times reporter who is a fucking adult, almost 40 fucking years old, and had no statements on Israel and Palestine for 2 fucking years of the genocide at the New York Times. Oh no! Someone alert the presses. Someone has to deal with the real issues. This too is anti-Semitic and also completely insane. Oh, because I said if there's any terrorism that happens on U.S. soil now, you will never be able to convince me nor millions of other Americans that it wasn't Israel and America conducting it together to rally the masses to support an insanely unpopular war. Yeah. Oh no! Oh no! Guys! I need you to understand. Guys. I know that the billionaire pedophilic elite will send your sons and daughters to go die in a region that has never done anything to you whatsoever so they can yield better returns on their initial investments year over year, okay? And we will do it definitely for the nation state of Israel as well, okay? Because they also have like a separate ambition of being able to develop greater Israel as this like biblical fucking project, right? They want to do that, and they can't do that as long as Iran has ballistic missiles. So we have to kill them. We have to kill them. But guess what, guys? Guess what? That could come across as anti-Semitic if you fucking literally call it out. You're not supposed to say that. And because it's deeply unpopular, because it's a deeply unpopular endeavor, because Israel is deeply unpopular, because Donald Trump is deeply unpopular, in an effort to do some sort of fucking crazy psyop on U.S. soil, if they were to do like an anthrax attack, for example, you know, never been done before in the United States of America. Never been conducted to make everyone in fucking Iowa think that like Al-Qaeda is going to come after them. Not even talking about 9/11 at this point. I'm talking about what came after, right? All the anthrax in the mail saga that universalized the fear that it wasn't just New York, the capital of finance, that was struck, but, you know, my bumfuck shitty town next to Gary, Indiana could also be under attack by Islamic style terrorism. So I'm obviously a lot more fearful and a lot more open-minded to going and waging war in the fucking Middle East. You know? Could never happen. Has never happened and could never happen, you know? Certainly. Someone's got to get on board. It's so insane. Is this Jamel Bowie? Apparently Jamel Bowie reposted this. How is this man so popular? Because everyone went crazy and expertise has been completely eroded, says Joe Steve. Where does this guy work? Assistant professor at U.S. history at UNC Chapel Hill. Political liberal, hoop reactionary. Yeah, this guy's just as big as a piece of shit as his uncle, if not worse in terms of real world influence. How is this anti-Semitic? Yes, there is not a tin hat take to be had on Trump making use of any now more likely attack on U.S. soil to consolidate power. Yeah, like even liberals won't believe this, for the record. Oh, he wrote this article. A liberal's case for conservatives in history departments. Oh, he writes for Quillette. Oh, he writes for the fucking eugenicist magazine Quillette. That makes a lot more sense. Oh, guys. I mean, listen. Guys, you can't say that like Israel is in the driving seat of American foreign policy in the MENA region. You can't say that because that might be scary. That might be, it's not the reality that is scary. It's that might hurt my feelings personally. Okay? What about my feelings? Have you considered my feelings? How I feel? You're making it quite difficult for me to defend these sorts of actions. So I have to fucking turn around and tell you, you're being quite anti-Semitic, my good sir. You're being anti-Semitic, sir. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Get the fuck out of here, dumbass.
Liberal. Yeah,
he reposted the fucking Quillette reporter. Shame on you, Jamel.
Chopping up children's genitals.
Shame on you. Seriously, fucking shame on you, Jamel Bowie. That is fucking bullshit, and you fucking know it. Shame on you. Yeah. Wait till liberals do this exact same thing, but this time for Trump consolidating power. Because they only deal in terms of like the Democratic Party's success in elections versus the Republican Party, right? Like they do not deal in the material, and they will literally lean into this stuff when it inevitably happens, okay? They will say, oh, Trump is doing this because he's distracting people from the Epstein files. Trump is doing this because he wants to consolidate power and implement martial law. All of these things also correspond to one another. They're not even separate from one another. These are not like mutually exclusive incidents. Yeah. Why hasn't Jamel Bowie written a single fucking thing about Gaza? I remember a couple years in. I remember a couple years in when at this point it was like a year and a half in, and people were like, hey, Jamel Bowie, we love your takes. Okay? We love your takes, Jamel. Do you have nothing to say about, what Israel is doing? And he was like, oh, I haven't read into it. I haven't read into, like, I don't really know too much about what Israel is doing. No, Jamel Bowie was never a friend of the show. Did you blast off, bro? No, I didn't. Yeah, 85 children have been killed by the Amer-Israeli bombing campaign in Iran. But guys, I need you to understand. My feelings might be hurt in this process because I'm trying to defend that and you're making it hard for me. You're making it hard for me. What about my feelings? Just a heads up, I couldn't find your stream on mobile and had to search for you on PC. What did I get fucking blacklisted already? No, I doubt it. I was told it was supposed to be Iranian. Oh, Iranian citizens cheering on being bombed? Yeah, no. The Bahrainis are ecstatic. Every video I've seen of like unks in Bahrain filming the American base being struck is them going udrup 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 udrup. Anyway, this is the funniest one. This is the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
مسيرة اضرب 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 اضرب.
That's a radar dome, no? They just straight up took out a fucking a radar system with literally a Shahed drone. That does not happen unless America totally wrote that off, okay? Like, that literally only happened because America was like, yeah, we don't give a fuck. Yeah, blow it up. We'll make a new one. Do you understand? That's a Shahed drone. Look how fucking slow it flies. You can literally shoot that out of the sky with an AK-47, okay? That happened because America wanted that to happen. I need you to understand this. That happened because America wanted that to happen. America wanted you to see that this was going on. That's a $10,000 drone that just destroyed $1 billion of satellite radar equipment. Like radar equipment, it's a SATCOM radome. Yeah, that's your healthcare blowing up, by the way. That's your healthcare blowing up. You just watched your fucking healthcare blowing up. Why would Americans have an AK-47 that's a commie weapon? I'm just saying. That's your taxes being lit on fire. Every time you see one of these fucking things blow up, I need you to think about it like that, okay? Every time you see that, the $1.5 billion radar was destroyed, but this one of the video cost $18 million. Sorry. This is a $18 million radar. Okay, great. Just look at everything that this guy's tweeting. What is this? Current state of the Strait of Hormuz, which has been closed by the IRGC. Yeah, the U.S. Has its own energy. It hurts China more to have it disrupted. Are you not in agreement? Yeah, if you're a postdoc, you can't get grants. If you're a researcher, you can't get funding, right? If you were a public sector employee, you got fired. If you needed SNAP benefits and you were one of the hundreds of thousands that no longer can get that SNAP benefit, you now have to eat less food. But we can go and do this shit. we can go and move 50% of our naval assets, tens of billions of dollars can be spent moving entire islands basically to this region and go to war and blow up fucking school children overseas. It is ridiculous. And quite frankly, I hate to say this over and over again, but we are fucking cattle. Okay, we're cattle. We have nothing to say for this. We have nothing that we can do about this. We have nothing that we can do to organize. That's it. Like we just watch it from afar, like it's a fucking movie, and you know, not really much we can do. And this fucking dipshit gets to direct all of those resources. Breaking. The building is in the Grand Air Hotel, which frequently hosts senior U.S. military officers located close to U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters, struck with a Shahed 136. Breaking. Iran's Revolutionary Guards have warned ships over VHF radio that no vessel is allowed to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. An EU Aspides naval mission official told Reuters the strait is a narrow choke point with just 21 to 33 kilometers wide at its tightest between Iran to the north and Oman and UAE to the south. Roughly 20 to 30% of the global seaborne crude oil, about 20 to 21 million barrels per day, moves through it. Major exporters, including Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, the UAE, and Qatar, depend on this single route to supply global markets. Price of oil will go up. Yeah, this was insane, by the way. This is just pure Jewish supremacy, for the record. CNN put out an article 33 minutes ago saying that this attack is for Amalek. This is Tal Shalev, senior reporter at CNN based in Jerusalem, who literally said this was last night, that this attack was for Amalek and to fulfill the mitzvah of remembering Amalek. Timing of U.S.-Israel attack on Iran bears symbolic meaning in Judaism. The timing of the U.S. and Israeli attack on Iran bears symbolic meaning in Judaism. Ahead of the upcoming Jewish holiday of Purim, worshippers read the specific portion from the Old Testament known as Zachor. The passage from the book of Deuteronomy commands the ancient Israelites to remember an unprovoked attack by the nation of Amalek and to eradicate the memory of Amalek once the Israelites are settled in their land. The passage is read publicly before Purim to fulfill the mitzvah of remembering Amalek as Israel's archetypical enemy. This is literally what Nick Fuentes also says. Benjamin Netanyahu and Nick Fuentes and this lady on CNN are entirely in fucking agreement. Okay? Like, this is Jewish supremacist thought. Okay? Who gives a fuck what some religious text says? What are you, fucking insane? You think I'm supposed to care about this? Are you out of your fucking mind? I care about school children being blown up. I don't want that to happen. There is no justification. This is a pre-Ellison takeover at CNN, by the way. So I don't know what the fuck the Ellisons are going to do to CNN to make it more pro-Israel. Like, is this going to be the only thing? Is this going to be the only thing that fucking comes out of CNN? Yeah. Also, Jeremy Diamond, CNN's Jerusalem correspondent, also last night was calling it a preemptive strike. Israel has launched preemptive strikes against Iran in a state of emergency. There's no such thing, okay? A preemptive strike in almost every single circumstance is just a made-up reasoning for striking first, okay? It can only be considered a preemptive strike if there is like actual information, actual data that there is supposed to be a strike incoming and you want to cut it ahead of time. This is ridiculous. Israel always says they're preemptively striking their enemies. Israel always is preemptively striking their enemies. And the American media always fucking lies at the behest of Israel. They always lie at the behest of Israel. Oh, it's a preemptive strike. Really? Was 9/11 a preemptive strike on American empire? Like, what are we talking about? Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda issued a preemptive strike in the nation's finance capital to the World Trade Center and attempted to engage in a preemptive strike on the Pentagon. Like, is that... No, it's ridiculous, right? It's fucking ridiculous. No, that was not a preemptive strike. Yeah, Israel is preemptively striking school children. You know, preemptively striking them to ensure that they never graduate from middle school. Chill, bro. They will clip this? The fuck do you mean? I keep forgetting that I haven't even blasted off yet. Anyway, does anyone have a blast off meme, I guess? I don't even know at this point. Jesus Christ. It's 9 a.m. Yeah. Okay, I'll do the remember who you're fighting for one. Incredible stuff. By the way, I'm live on Twitch and YouTube, okay? I'm live on both Twitch and YouTube here. We're blasting off. I know I can show YouTube chat on Twitch. They updated the rules. I know. Shut up. I know. Here it is. Here's the blast off meme. Yeah, our Kamala Harris and Biden's loser asses up there. All the dumb folks keep saying things that would be different if Kamala won. I mean, what is Hasan's YouTube thumbnail? Oh yeah, this is my YouTube thumbnail. Yes. Anyway, let's continue with this shit here.
Of those ballistic missiles, but all of this kicked off this morning around 8:15 a.m. local time. Israelis were woken to the sound of sirens, not announcing incoming missiles, but rather alerting Israelis to this new state of emergency that is in place as Israel announced that it had struck targets in Iran. We then quickly learned that it was not just Israel, but that these are joint strikes carried out by the United States and the Israeli militaries in Iran, targeting a range of targets inside of Iran. I'm told that there were dozens of targets that were struck by both militaries. We have been watching, of course, for weeks now as the United States has been carrying out this enormous military buildup in the region, but simultaneously a diplomatic track was taking place. But this morning, that diplomatic track was completely cast aside in favor of this military action by the United States and Israel. We heard from President Trump making clear that this is not just about going after Iran's ballistic missile and nuclear programs, but setting the conditions for regime change. And we have heard similar comments as well from the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. We know now that Israel is at a very heightened state of awareness. Most Israelis are either in their bomb shelters or very close by, awaiting the ramifications of this, as we are already watching Iran launch missiles not only here, but at other sites across the Middle East. Victor?
Jeremy Diamond for us there in Tel Aviv. We will get back to you in just a few moments. President Trump is monitoring the strikes from his Mar-a-Lago resort, and he calls on Iranians to stand up to their government and warns the fight could put American lives in danger. He also says the U.S. has done everything it can to keep American troops safe in the region.
Come on, bro. Come on. Yeah, we are doing everything we can to keep American troops safe in the region. By what? Fucking blowing up Iran? A country that has a ballistic missiles program specifically for this very moment. We're keeping them safe by like bringing them. We're keeping them safe by basically putting them on these like floating islands that Iran can strike. You know, that's it. They're basically missile sponges, dude. That's it. Just understand that your homies, your neighbors, your loved ones, your cousins, whoever the fuck's out there right now is functionally a missile sponge. They're drone sponges. They're missile sponges. They're just sitting there, parked outside, hoping that the anti-missile systems actually stop the Iranian pummeling. It's just so crazy because, like, everyone could have seen this from a million miles away. I mean, I talked about it for a fucking week. Like, it was so obvious that the entire negotiations process was a sham. The entire negotiations process was an utter sham. Everybody knew. Everybody understood that this was going to happen. It was an inevitability. It was going to happen. Because Israel wanted it to happen. And Israel has wanted this to happen for 50 fucking years at this point, okay? Not 50 years, but like definitely 30 years, right? This is like 30 years of American policy, American foreign policy and Israeli foreign policy. It's finally happening at Israel's weakest moment as far as like unlimited support from the West. Do you see what that pig kid starver said?
Earlier this morning.
Oh. They've been saying Iran is 2 seconds away from the nuclear bomb since like 1989. Okay, Benjamin Netanyahu is the guy who's been saying it. That's so crazy. Like, even the actors are the same. Here, let's look at this slave.
The United States and Israel struck targets in Iran. Iran has since launched indiscriminate strikes across the region. I know the British people and communities across our country will be deeply concerned about what this means for security and stability and for the fate of innocent people across the region, which for so many of us includes friends and family members. So whilst the situation is evolving very quickly, I want to set out our response. The United Kingdom played no role in these strikes, but we have long been clear. The regime in Iran is utterly abhorrent. They have murdered thousands of their own people, brutally crushed dissent, and sought to destabilize the region, even in the United Kingdom.
Like, by the time he released this statement, we knew that America and Israel had blown up a school, okay? Like a little girl's school. Like, when he says, oh, we must allow America and Israel to strike Iran and blow up schools because Iran is crushing dissent. Does that argument make sense to you? Does that argument make sense to you at all? By the way, I mean, it's just, again, slave, okay? Slave, cattle, slave. That's it. That's it. War criminal, cattle, slave, all of it. Also deeply unlikable and pathetic monster, but I just... Look, I don't know where we go from here, okay? I think it's virtually impossible for people not to look at the situation and wake the fuck up to the reality that this is completely untenable, completely unacceptable. I don't know. I try to, because maybe I'm a little too invested in this stuff. Maybe I'm a little too knowledgeable on this stuff as well. And I know what the real reasons are as to why we're doing it, and the average person doesn't. And the average person's perspective when I have a conversation with them is like, does this mean Iran has a nuke? Is Iran going to nuke us? Is Iran going to bomb us? Like, it's important for you to go out and talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, talk to your family, talk to your loved ones, and explain to them carefully exactly why this is happening. Okay? Exactly why this is happening. It has nothing to do with like security concerns. It has nothing to do with the Iranian population and its liberation. And the American government isn't even doing a decent enough job at presenting it as such, like lying. They're not even lying. They're not even offering us the dignity to lie to our fucking faces, right? They're not even doing that. They're just straight up saying, we're going to war. Maybe we're going to liberate the Iranian people. Who gives a shit? Whatever, you know? Who cares? Shut the fuck up. It's for oil. It's for the military industrial complex. It's so that America and America broadly can control this entire region and have no sovereignty whatsoever in this region, because sovereignty in this region actually stops Israel from developing the greater Israeli project, taking over territory in Lebanon, taking over sovereign soil in Syria, taking over maybe even pieces of Egypt and Saudi Arabia, right? That is the ambition for Israel separately. And the ambition for America is to let Israel do whatever the fuck it wants in the region, because they think this still aligns with their interests. And whoever dies in the process dies. It doesn't matter. Americans who die in the process, sorry, you died for the almighty dollar. You died for the petrodollar. You died for dollar hegemony. There's nothing you can do about it. Maybe we'll offer you a little medal at the end of that journey, you know, so your family can fucking cry and look at the medal and think, oh, you died you died a dignified death. Okay? When you go out there, many people in this community and elsewhere in the United States of America have joined the armed forces because they just simply want upward social mobility. They don't get it any other way. They have to sell their soul to the fucking Pentagon. They have to sell their soul to the United States Department of Defense, because they think, oh, I'll just go there. I'll do one tour. It'll be fine. I'll come out of that. I'll get a fucking comms degree from my local university, my state university, and then I'll enter the same fucking dog shit job market that everyone else is suffering in, with the hopes that I can have a job, with the hopes that I can maybe have a roof over my head and some upward social mobility. The best case scenario in this situation is you go out there, you get like maybe a little bit of PTSD, you come back, and you actually have a job until AI takes it away from you. Now you have to live with a lifetime of crippling mental illness, crippling PTSD. But just know, when you're going out there and you're putting your body on the line, you're doing it for the pedophilic cabal of elite billionaires that control every facet of society, so they can make super profits over and over again. So they can extract the materials, they can extract the rare earth minerals, they can extract the natural resources, oil, right? If you want to simplify it, and they can make the money. Yeah. And worst case scenario, they'll tell you your injuries are not service related. There's that too. And some believe the liberty and justice narratives. Some do. I'm sure if you're a veteran, you've met them, you've encountered them. Maybe you believe them at some point. Maybe you were like, no, we're fighting for free speech, brother. How many doors do you have to knock down in Kabul before you realize, like, maybe there wasn't really a free speech component here? You know what I mean? Sitting inside of a fucking forward operating base in Korengal Valley as you hear pot shots from afar, IEDs exploding, friends of yours getting their dicks blown off because the American military didn't put sufficient armor underneath the fucking Humvees. They didn't think that roadside bombs would actually be a significant threat. You see your buddies get their legs blown off inside of a Humvee. Someone made money there. Not you. Someone else made money. Right? A contractor made money. Now your dick's blown off. Now your leg's blown off. You come back, you're like, what am I supposed to do? My life is fucked. Why did you do it? Did you do it to defend freedom? Is that what it was? Whose freedom were you defending? I'm from PR. I served in the Middle East when Israel started war. Gaza, I've lost buddies, lost to the suicide too. I'm fucked up in the head. This shit's making it worse. I served because I was broke, Puerto Rico situation. Knowing I fucked up my body and mental for Israel is driving me insane. Okay, there is a fucking productive thing that you can do, for the record, which is organize. Get other like-minded individuals that have been in the same fucking conditions and ensure that no one else gets duped and suckered into the same predicament ever again. Okay? That's what you're supposed to do. Your lived experience should help you help others. Okay? You can't give up. And I promise you, when you actually engage others with similar issues like that and you try to correct it, you try to offer atonement for the shit that you did that's like fucking up your brain now, you're gonna feel better as well. It is gonna be more productive for you. And slowly but surely, you work to the best of your ability to make things right, to ensure that there aren't new, younger generations that fall into the same fucking trap. You're an outlier, but let's not LARP. This community actually cares about the stories of veterans and our experiences, bro. Law 60% of the chat wants and wanted us dead from the top. Okay, calm down. I also go back and forth on this because it's just like I don't want to hear the fucking sob story every goddamn day either, okay? And that's not true. Half of the community are already like either fucking veterans themselves. It's like, yes, half of the community is like, oh yeah, every veteran, every imperialist soldier deserves death. And then the other half is like, I was an imperial soldier. And I kind of agree with what the people are saying, but I also do feel kind of fucked up about what I had to do. So calm down, okay? I don't care about what you've done. I care about what you're doing now. Do you understand? I don't care about what you've done. I care about who you are as a person now. Your lived experience and the things that you've done should motivate you to do better. And as long as you're doing that, as long as you're trying to stop others from falling into the same trap that you fell into, as long as you use that lived experience to ensure that others don't, as long as you use the training in the future potentially, it's fine. Do you know why North Korea is trending? Yeah, because they have fucking nukes, and therefore they don't have to deal with this shit. Okay? That's probably why they're trending. Like, motherfuckers will say, do nothing, win, but the reality is you have to do something. And that something is develop nukes. That's it. Nuclear sovereignty is the only way that you can exist as a nation in the periphery without American and sometimes Israeli intervention. Vague posting imperialists. I think Americans are going to manufacture consent for the Iranian intervention. I think that they're wrong. If they think they'll be able to get away with manufacturing consent for this, I suspect they're wrong. One, I think the propaganda apparatus has been crippled. I think the propaganda apparatus doesn't have the same motion it once did. Okay? I also don't think that the American government is even invested in doing any sort of propaganda to justify or to manufacture consent. You don't even need it. You don't even fucking need it. What did Zoran say? Oh, God. Today's military strikes on Iran carried out by the United States and Israel mark a catastrophic escalation in illegal war of aggression, bombing cities, killing civilians, opening a new theater of war. Americans do not want this. They do not want another war in pursuit of regime change. They want relief from the affordability crisis. They want peace. I'm focused on making sure every New Yorker is safe. I've been in contact with our police commissioner, emergency management officials. We are taking proactive steps, including increasing coordination across agencies and enhancing patrols of sensitive locations out of an abundance of caution. Additionally, I want to speak to Iranian New Yorkers. You are part of the fabric of the city. You are our neighbors, small business owners, students, artists, workers, and community leaders. You will be safe here. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Like, thank God. I thought he was gonna. Thank God. Thank fucking God. Okay, Jesus Christ. Imagine he was like, hey, now is not the time. Guys, I want to keep Israel in my heart. As Israel and America is blowing up little school children in Iran, I just want to say, please don't say anything that it might offend the sensibilities of those who are actually championing this death and destruction campaign at the best of Israel and the Epstein pedophilic cabal. That would be very unkind of you. And perhaps the only thing that we should care about, okay? AOC statements, the American people are once again dragged into a war they did not want by a president who does not care about the long-term consequences of his actions. This war is unlawful, it is unnecessary, and it will be catastrophic. Just this week, Iran and the United States were negotiating key measures that could have staved off war. The president walked away from these discussions and chose war instead. President Trump flippantly acknowledged the possibility of American casualties, stating, that often happens in war. Mr. President, this was not an inevitability. This is a deliberate choice of aggression when diplomacy and security were within reach. Stop lying to the American people. Oh, yeah, I'm going to talk about Israel doing Israel shit again. They struck an opposition figure that was under house arrest. Luckily, he's still alive, but that's crazy. Anyway. Violence begets violence. We learned this lesson in Iraq. We learned this lesson in Afghanistan. We're about to learn it again in Iran. Bombs have yet to create enduring democracies in the region, and this will be no different. In moments of war, our Constitution is unambiguous. Congress authorizes war. The president does not. I will do my part to uphold our Constitution by voting yes on the Representatives Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie War Powers Resolution. Every member of Congress must join us in rejecting this aimless war. I will say,
like all of you, I woke up this morning to the terrible news that Donald Trump had taken up.
Yeah, I was talking to Abdul last night.
Yet again to war with Iran. Ask yourself who this benefits. It doesn't benefit you or I. It doesn't make our grocery prices any cheaper. It doesn't address the fact that our healthcare is more expensive. It doesn't make home ownership more attainable. All it does is change the subject, distract us from the broken presidency of Donald Trump. This is a man who ran on America first, ran promising that the era of regime change wars was over. And now he's just taken us into another foreign entanglement, the third one this year alone. This is Trump admitting that he cannot solve your problems. He will not even try. Instead, when those problems get bad enough, he's going to distract you.
How do I get my boyfriend to snap out of the Western war can be good mindset? I know he's smart enough to understand this, but he just won't. Is he cattle? Does he sometimes go, like when you bring him treats? Do you sometimes smack him in the ass and he just gets really excited and runs away, runs off into the distance, galloping around? Does he go, Because you might not have a boyfriend. You just have livestock at that point. I'm just saying. Okay. How do I get my boyfriend to snap out of the Western war can be good mindset? Okay. Are you dating a Lockheed Martin executive? Are you dating Mr. John Boeing? Ask him these questions. Ask your boyfriend, are you Mike Huckabee? Because if you're not any of those things, it's not beneficial for you, right? It's not beneficial for you at all, especially if you grew up in a rural area. He might literally be a cattle. He might literally be livestock. But if you grew up in a rural area, ask him, hey, don't you think it's fucked up that you don't have a rural hospital? Like the last time you guys had like a healthcare professional in this region was 35 years ago. And businesses have completely pulled out of this area. Everyone is poor as fuck. But it seems like there's always money in the bank to go to war overseas. Does that do anything for you? Does that do anything positive for you? Does that make you feel good? Why does that make you feel good? If it does, you know? These are the questions you can ask your loved ones. These are the questions you can ask your loved ones. Ask them. How does this work for your best interest? Because there's obviously a non-selfish argument to make, one that revolves around solidarity across the board, one that, one that recognizes the dignity and humanity of those who are being slain by the Amer-Israeli empire. But if people can't comprehend that, there's not really any good arguments to constantly engage in this endless warfare anyway. There's not really a lot of great arguments at all, as a matter of fact. I mean, fucking even the veterans that go out there recognize it.
He's going to distract you by weaponizing ICE on your street, killing American citizens, telling us that he's doing something about immigration while he's really just weaponizing and normalizing paramilitary force.
I'm going to have Jeremy Scale on to talk right
and
now.
He's going to take us to war. War with a nation of 93 million people that's got serious ammunition and artillery behind it. We don't know where this ends. But what this is normalizing a chaos because he can't actually deal with the problems in your life. This is an illegal war. There is no justification for it. He didn't even try to justify it to Congress. He had every opportunity in his State of the Union. He didn't. He's not trying to justify it to the international community because, again, there is no justification. Who benefits from this? How many American women and men are going to get broken over wars we never should have fought? How much of our time and our treasure is going